Welcome back, YouTube pipe smokers. Muntjaw Piper here. Well, this will be the last video on learning to play Android Netrunner. I'm actually going to play a few rounds of the game to give you a feel of how it plays. Okay, so the first turn always goes to the corporation because they have to set up before the runner gets a chance to run on their servers. So the first thing, which is automatic, is the corporation always draws a card. Alright, so I get 3 clicks. On the first click, as I look at the board state, I see that my R&D server and my headquarters server is not protected. So that's what I want to do first. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install, first click, I'm going to install a piece of ice in front of R&D. Second click, I'm going to use to install a piece of ice in front of headquarters. And then my last click, I'm going to use a hedge fund, which says that I have to pay 5, but I get 9 credits. Pay 5 credits and get 9 credits back. So I'm going to pay the 5, and I'll get 4 credits that will equal 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, I'm going to switch. I'm going to go in front of the camera real quick. I'm sorry about this. It's the only way I can figure out how to do this. Okay, so now it's the runner's turn. Okay, so the first thing the runner's going to do is they're going to gain a little bit of money. So they're going to play an event called Sure Gamble. It's sort of like the hedge fund. They pay 5 and they get 9 back. So I'm going to get 4 out of the bank, which will give me 9 total. The next thing I'm going to do for my second click, I'm going to install a program called a Gordian blade. Now it costs 4. Costs 4 to install, and that's the end of that click. Now, the third click, I'm going to use my Gordian blade, or not Gordian blade, but Kate is going to run on R&D, the R&D server for the corporation. So, back in front of the camera I go, sorry. Okay, so, now the corporation knows that Kate is going to run on R&D. So, I take a look at my ice and see if it's something I want to activate, and it is. So I decide I'm going to res this piece of ice, which is Enigma. So it costs 3 to activate. And now I have protection against the runner running on my server, my R&D server. The only thing is that this piece of ice is a code gate. The icebreaker that he has breaks code gates. So the first thing we do is we compare strengths. The Gordian blade has a strength of 2. The icebreaker, or the piece of ice, has a strength of 2. So we don't have to use credits to increase the icebreaker to get it to the same level as the piece of ice. Next thing we do is we look at how many subroutines. There's 2 subroutines, so I have to pay 1 credit for each subroutine. So the runner pays 2 credits. Okay, so the runner has used the Gordian blade to bypass or get through the Enigma piece of ice. Now it's in the server. So what happens now is I lift this card and show it to the runner. I can't see it. I'm not allowed to look at it. Just the runner. Okay, and this, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is called a priority requisition. It is a 3-point agenda. So as I flip it up, the runner sees it's an agenda and steals it. and they add it to their credit pool. So now they have 3 of the 7 agenda points that they need. Okay, so I'm going to go back over real quick. That was the second run, or second click. Third click, I'm going to play Diesel, which costs 0, but I get to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And on the 4th click, I'm going to play Easy Mark. Costs 0, but I get 3 credits. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and my turn is over. So now it's the corporation's turn. Again, the corporation draws a card. Alright, so I am going to, my first click, I'm going to play Green Level Clearance, which gains me 3 credits, and I get to draw 1 card. So, 1, 2, 3. I get to draw a card. Okay, so my second click, I'm going to install another piece of ice. Now, any ice that's installed over the first piece of ice costs 1 credit exponentially. So what that means is for this piece of ice, I have to pay a credit. If I put another piece of ice above that, I have to pay 2 credits. Another one, 3 credits. Another one, 4 credits. Okay, that was the third one. I'm going to install an asset in a remote server, or I'm going to install a remote server for the last click. Now, it's the runner's turn. So, as a runner, I have to look at the board state. Right now, I have 1 icebreaker that will break code gates. This is a code gate, but now the corporation installed another piece of ice. I don't know if that's a sentry or a barrier or another code gate. Also, there is a piece of ice in front of headquarters. So I don't know what that is, if it's a barrier or if it's a code gate or if it's, or what it is. And then they installed a remote server, but there is nothing to protect it. So I'm going to take a look at what I've got here. And I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is play Sure Gamble, which cost me 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I get 9 back. So I get to put out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first click. Second click, I'm going to play a program. It's called Magnum Opus. It costs 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what's great about this card is I can spend a click and get 2 credits as many times as I want. So on my turn, if I want to spend all 4 of my credits all 4 of my clicks to gain 2 credits, I get 8 credits from that action. So my third click, I'm going to run on this remote server. So the corporation has to reveal it and show it to me, show me what it is. This is a pad campaign. I'm going to show it to you real quick. Okay, this is a pad campaign. Hopefully it'll... Okay, now this one, once I pay the res costs, which is 2 at the corner here, every beginning of each turn I gain 1 point. or I'm sorry, I gain 1 credit. But also, if you see down here, this little trash can, it shows 4. So since the runner discovered it, if I choose, I can trash this program, this asset. Or I can turn it over and leave it alone. All right, so I don't want the corporation to get any more money than it can. So I'm going to go ahead and pay the 4 and have him trash it. So he trashes it to archives. Now my fourth click I'm going to run on headquarters. So let's go over to this side, and I'm going to look at my ice. Let's just pretend that I only have 2 credits and this ice cost 5 to res. So I can't res this piece of ice. So I say, okay, I'm not going to res. So he gets free access to headquarters. So then what I do is I hold out my hand and the runner chooses one of these cards. Let's say he chooses this one. All right. Well, he discovered another agenda. So now he's up to 4 agendas. 1 for this one and 3 for this one. So he's pretty far ahead. Okay, so that's pretty much a couple of turns of how you play Android Netrunner. I played it by myself, but when you get somebody that knows how to play and you go back and forth, you know, what do I protect my servers with? What do I install? Do I install an asset in my remote servers, or do I install an agenda? A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll build up a remote server like this, and then they'll install agendas in it to where the runner has to go through 3 pieces of ice. And there are some strong ice. There's ice that has strength of 7 and 5 subroutines you have to get through. So if you do that, and the runner only has 1 or 2 pieces of only 1 or 2 credits, then you're going to be able to score out agendas quickly. So that's a little taste of how to play. Now there are some other places that you can go. I would suggest first that you go to fantasyflight.com, and they have a YouTube video to show you a little bit better of how to play the game. That's fantasyflight.com. And then there's another YouTube place. There's another place that I would suggest that you go. It's called teamcovenant.com. They have just recently done videos on how to play Netrunner. They've started from the very beginning, sort of like I have, but they have done 4 videos utilizing 4 different factions and 4 different runners in order to play. So that's teamcovenant.com. All right, well, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you guys try to give this game a shot. It really is an awesome game. It's fun to play. It's fun to hide agendas. It's fun to you know, someone may think this is an agenda and it's actually a trap that does things to them. But once you get the game, you'll discover some of the neat ideas and neat things that you can do with it. All right, well, until my next video, I want to wish you and your family happy gaming.